Hey, Stoney here. I'm with Wood, and this is Mechabellum Tournament. At the bottom here, we're looking at Dachshund playing as Marksman Specialist. He's against ASCAP playing as a Giant Specialist. This is the final championship game of the midweek America Tournament. Alright, at the bottom here, we see Tarantulas, Fangs, and of course, Marksman. And Dachshund added 2 extra Marksmen just to make it into a very well-rounded competition into round 1. And looking at ASCAT, even though he's got steel balls, crawlers, he's not going aggro. Instead of playing very standard and have crawlers all the way back, crawlers and balls all the way back against the wall. How do you feel about this, Clint?
Balls against the wall. It rhymes, so it's got to be good, right? No.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of standard balls like this. I know we've seen Blue Hair do some stuff with this. It's just not really my sort of play style or something that I'm comfortable piloting. What I was going to say, though, is we have dog versus cat. Where do you sit on that debate?
I've had both dogs and cat at some point in my life. I used to be a cat person. I used to have a cat that I inherited from my wife.
6.5 hours later.
I have 2, and they're the light of my life. But real quick, though, not to go too far off the deep end. We have Dachshund with Assault Fang. Usually a card that is dead on arrival, but being picked up. I think Dachshund's cooking something up really special here. What do you think about that?
I love Assault Fans. I actually picked it more often than not because I just love the idea of fans being able to contest crawlers comfortably. And with Dachshund's position, right, most of his units are positioned very aggressively. I think Assault Fans are great. Now, one thing a lot of people don't realize, the dynamic of Assault Fangs with Tarantula, is that without Assault Fangs, these fans actually only shoot just a little shorter than the Tarantula. So what that means is, let's say if your opponent has like crawlers running in or steel balls running in, these fans will most of the time stand behind the Tarantula and deal damage because the Tarantulas do walk faster than the fans. And with the Assault Fans, you almost always guarantee the fans to be in front of the Tarantula. So that's like a little, tidbit of knowledge that you can take. And also one of the reasons why you want to take Assault Fans in this situation.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I didn't even think about that, but Speed Spec coming out. Oh my god.
He is definitely cooking.
Dude, we basically have mech ranged fangs without having mech ranged fangs. This is so cool.
Now we got 12 meter per second fans, and you can click mech rage once again, and now the fans will be faster than crawlers.
And Soja following the flowchart, dropping around 3 Vulcan. These poor Assault Fangs are about to be cooked.
Well, don't count them out just yet, right? We don't see a lot of it now. I remember in the old days when Scorpion was still strong, right? Every time you see a Vulcan drop, you drop 1 Scorpion right in front of Vulcan, take field maintenance, and then you build a bunch of traffic around it, behind it rather, because that Scorpion is so tanky that Vulcan will spend the entire turn and not kill it. In this case, I think the Tarantula kind of serves in a similar role. But in order for that dynamic to work, I think Dachshund would just have to take range on the fans, forcing the Tarantulas to walk forward. He might even have to sell this level 1 Tarantula, rebuy as level 2, or just level. He did get a level, and then put field maintenance to attract this Vulcan. Look at the fans on the left-hand side. It's just a bunch of crawlers and a bunch of fans. It's not even a full squad. And it's taking on this squad of balls, level 2 balls.
Giving it to the balls over here on the left. Getting a level 2. Oh, getting the tower. Get
it. He didn't get it.
This should be fine, though. This should break down just fine, yeah. But I think what we might see, right, is echoes of the last game, right? Once a couple more Vulcans start to hit the field, and Soja can drop 2 more. Soja being ASCAT here for those unaware. Once a couple more Vulcans hit the field, like things can get a little out of control. But what you were talking about, right, is these high-level units being field maintenanced. And here we have a high-level Sabertooth, and we could very easily field maintenance, and that sucker is never, ever gonna die to one of these Vulcans. What do you think about the high-level Sabertooth? We see Soja go for Saber Cash, but Doxson's gonna keep it.
Man, I wish Doxson would put that Sabertooth like right where that crawler that's about to get upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Take on a mobile beacon, march that Sabertooth in front of all 3 Vulcans, and just kind of parade in front of it. It's gonna get locked on by all 3 Vulcans, and they're not gonna be able to kill it. And hopefully those assault fans will walk forward before the steel balls lock onto it. That would be the coolest thing ever.
But here's the big thing, right? Is that, oh no, the Sabertooth is distracted by the crawlers. It's not what we want at all.
Come on, Tarantula. Lend him a hand. He needs to shoot a Vulcan. He still get it though. I think he one-shots Vulcan. Nope, 2 shots Vulcans.
I was going to say, yeah, this damage breakpoint is massive. This thing is going to, oh my god, just chunks the Vulcan. Oh, it's so much damage. Yeah, I mean, these high-level Sabertooths, this is a round 4, level 5 unit. In terms of unit parity, or like level parity with rounds, that is not really possible to ascertain in a normal game outside of like some intensive training shenanigans. So, the reality, right, is that we are a level ahead of the round placement, and that can be really degenerate. Sometimes it can lead to some very tempo-heavy gameplay loops. Round 5 comes up. Both players take top supply specialist. Doxson has taken a card every round.
I mean, Doxson can afford to, right? He's so far
ahead.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it's risky for ASCAP for this round for top supply. I think Acid would have been really good for ASCAP.
Mm-hmm.
And being aggro, you can't really defend against. You can just put it right there on the line. No shield can defend against it, right? Your Tarantula are going to walk forward. I wonder if the reason that Doxson took range on the Tarantulas is perhaps anticipating an Acid on the line, because now these Tarantulas could probably just fire away from that line. Just speculating here.
Yeah, no, I think that's a solid read on it, right? I think the other thing, right, is that we also want to cover for this Sabertooth a little bit. Right, we saw Doxson actually put down another spider or tarantula right behind, just to the left of that level 5 Sabertooth. And the idea, hopefully, here being that we do not get caught on the crawlers like we did previously in the round before this. And sure enough, right, we see that being covered. But a little bit of tech taken from Soja here was Ignite on Vulcans, and just look at that Sabertooth fall over.
Ouch. Wow, that was a heck of a tech here. I mean, a little bit expensive, but I think it does cover one of Vulcan's weaknesses in the long term, because soon we're going to be seeing melting points, possibly a fortress, right? You can't stay in medium-sized units against Scorch Vulcan forever.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, it's still around goes to Doxson. Just shows how strong his board is.
Yeah. If you're Doxson, what's the play here? Nano. Interesting.
Well, you got 3 marksmen. I'm going to smash that EM button.
Ooh.
And I'm probably just going to go Wasps.
I like all of that.
Ooh, but it's going to be a bunch of cats. The dogs are bringing in the cats.
Yeah, a bunch of saber cats. That's true. That's very true. Oh man, I would love to see some missile plays here from Doxson, right? Just removing these frontline Fangs and just being able to obliterate this line of Vulcans, right? These are basically not really insulated by chaff in any sort of capacity, right? So if our Sabertooths can, or our Sabercats, I guess, can get on any of these Vulcans, right, we can very quickly kind of battering ram down this wall. And, I think these sort of Vulcan heavy compositions are very weak to tempo. And I think Sabertooths are a very tempo oriented unit. So, I think this triple elite recruited Sabertooth is like a very solid read from Doxson here. And let's see how this shakes down, huh? Oh my gosh. The Vulcan on the right almost just pops like a balloon.
But a Sabertooth right there in the middle, though, I mean, is taking a huge punishment from the ignite of that Vulcan. And with so many Vulcans on the board, I mean, what's the health looking like? 47. Okay, so Doxson can afford to lose 2 rounds like these.
Yeah, Doxson takes 1 million damage here.
Well, here's the cheat code for Doxson's board, right? Right now, the reason that Doxson cannot win these games is because the Sabercats get stuck on chaff. But like you said earlier, there's really nothing in front of these Vulcans. So if Doxson were to take range on the Sabercats and just drop down 1, 2, 3 missiles, right? Get rid of those 2 fans and the crawler, allowing the tanks to lock onto the Vulcans right away, he can easily win this round.
The forbidden button has been clicked here. Sabertooth, Photon emission. The counteract, ignite.
The crappiest Photon in the game.
And the thing is, I don't think it hits the stuff that he wants to hit here. I don't think it hits the level 5 Sabertooth, which is what we really wanted to hit. It's not going to hit the level 2 Sabertooths. It doesn't hit air units, so it's not going to hit the Wraith, right? It really, honestly, this Photon emission only really hits these tarantulas, which is, not anything to scoff at, but I don't know if it's good enough.
It might hit. I mean, 50 meters. I mean, that's 5 squares, right? I mean, I guess we'll see. It didn't.
I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but this is one of the most inconsistent texts in the game. It is a nightmare to utilize.
God. I have been schooled, and so has Doxson.
Yeah. But, I mean, we are muscling through a bit, so we'll see probably another round, right? An important thing to note is, well, you might see a bunch of marksmen on the field from Soja. The reality, right, is that most of these are summons, so they only deal 25% of their normal damage. But this is, basically one more round, and it's Soja favored.
Oh my God, I think Doxson is kicking himself in the foot right now. It's like, why did I not control my impulses of clicking that button? I've never seen anyone click that button.
I clicked it against you. I flipped it against you. You tried to tungsten rod one of my level 4 Sabertooths, and I photoned him, and it lived. But yeah, no, the reality, right, is that the most range you can have between Sabertooths with Photon emission is 2 spaces, and even then, it's very inconsistent. I've submitted a thing or two about this on the forums because I just can't seem to get it to work properly. So Doxson is just triply down on the cats.
Hey, two wrongs do make a right?
And we see Soja just playing, the Vulcan meta here, which is
I don't think Doxson has a chance right now. I mean, even if he answers reliably on the ground, these level 3 wasps is just gonna wipe the floor against these level 1 Wraith. They don't even one-shot. They don't even two-shot these level 3 wasps. So I don't see a way for Dachshund to win here. It's very rough.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Dachshund, right? Because shields have been taken, and shields is very, very strong into what Dachshund is currently doing. Just to be clear, right? The shields on Fangs for Soja. And I think a very conventional answer here is something like Splash HE ammo on. Goodness, I just watched a level 2 Sabertooth melt instantly. Yeah. Yeah, the Splash on Tarantulas is a very strong answer for this shield. Very quickly manhandles these sort of Fang lines. But I mean, here you go, right? We're watching. We're watching units with 50,000 HP fall over quite instantly. I hate to say it, but I think cats are the better animal, buddy.
Yes, it is. And my poor insight, my insight wallet is now empty. Because my dog buddy decided to take the worst Photon tech in the game. Anyways, if you're not jumping back into the game right away, I highly recommend this video. Check it out, and I'll see you on the next one.
Prepare your tactics. Mechabellum's calling. Deploy your fortress. The battlefield's alive with swarms.